Hi, this is Mike from Mike Investigates, and today I'm out here on a Sunday morning around 9 o'clock. It's earlier and it's a little bit cooler. It's supposed to get up to about 90 degrees today, and I'm here to do some maintenance slash servicing of my brakes on my 2003 Trailblazer right here. And what I'm doing is going to be replacing the front rotor, okay, the back rear caliper, the passenger side caliper, and then put those some brake pads for the front and rear. So I'll spin you around and start this up. See you in a second. Okay, so here's the rotor for the front. That's pretty much shot. It's all pitted and whatnot. So we're gonna go ahead and do that. This is the rotor replacement. It's a Duralast brake rotor, designed for this make and model of my vehicle. And 2 sets of brake pads and the caliper, the rear passenger caliper, which my caliper did have a problem with this bleed valve, and I had to improvise, so I'm replacing the whole thing. So first thing you want to do is make sure that you're on a pretty much level surface, and I got improvised chalk block in the back here. That's my chalk block. Alright, and what I'm going to do first is come around here and jack up this rear side and get that tire off, and attempt to get that caliper off. So I'll see you here in a second. Okay, so what I needed to do is I got my position, my jack underneath the car. I need to pop this off, slightly loosen the lug nuts before I start lifting this up, just enough so where I can take them off when it's raised. I'll be back in a second. Okay, so I'm here. I got my jack jacked up. The wheel, hopefully you can see this, is slightly above the ground. Got my chalk block over there on the other wheel, and plan on getting these lug nuts off. Do it in the star formation. Put them over here for safekeeping. I'll be back in a second. Okay, so I got the wheel off. The lug nuts are off. They're right here. The wheels underneath the car, slightly underneath where the support beam is. If this goes out, this will fall down. Have some somewhat of a safety. Now I have to get this caliper off, which entails, if you can see this bolt right here. There's 2 bolts that hold it up to the rotor of the rear axle. So this is the actual disc, and it looks like it's in a good shape, both sides. So I'm just gonna, I don't have a replacement for that, so I'm going to go just replace this caliper and the pads. So I'll be back in a second. Oh, and also I got a new 2 sets of tools. And what you want to make sure that is that you get a higher millimeter, like 15 or above, to get some of these bolts off. I was limited by what I did have when I first started out. So make sure you do. I picked these up at my local Walmart. They're thick walled. They are on the cheaper side. You know, you get what you pay for, but this should work fine. And yeah, be back in a second. Okay, so this bottom caliber bolt right here. Can you see that? That one right there is a 14 millimeter. Can we see that? 14. All right, so, and this is going to be counterclockwise, or righty-tighty, lefty-loosey. Actually, it's supposed to be, this is tightening, and I'm supposed to be loosening. So I'm going to go ahead and go down towards the ground with this. And once I get that off, I'll be right back. Okay, so I got this off. I pulled it out and slightly, gently set it on the frame right here. And now that gives us access to these brake pads, which I'm going to go ahead and take out if I can while I'm on camera. Okay, got one off. That's the inner side. Kind of hard to do with just one-handed. I don't have my tripod on me to get it. So I'll be right back once I get them off. Okay, so I got them off. This one's the outer, this one's the inner, and this is the manifold that goes across. This is the actual rotor. And my next point to take off are these bolts right here. This one and the one below it. It takes off this manifold completely, and then I can replace this entire caliber. One thing you want to be careful about is replacing this guy right here. That brings the brake fluid into the caliper. So I'll be back once I get this off. See you in a second. Okay, so one thing I want to note is that these back ones are, looks like 19 millimeter. This is really a lot, so I'm going to go ahead and get those off the back of here, and I'll see you in a second. Okay, alright, I got it off, as you can see. Hopefully this is not glaring too much. You can actually see this. This is the part right here. It used to sit right here, just like so. And I got those two bolts off. That's the outer, and that's the inner. You can see them. Yeah, outer, inner. This is the caliper. And this is going to be the new one right here. So it's going to be like this. I'm going to take this off, put the new one on, replace all the hardware to it, and then I'm going to attach the old caliper to the top here, and then take off the the brake line, and then once I get that off, that'll be the stable place where I can do that. Then I'll replace the old caliper with the new one and put the brake line back onto this one. Okay, I'll see you in a second. Okay, so I'm back. I got the manifold back on with the bolts that I recovered from the old one. That's securely put on. My next item is to actually get this section off and then replace it with that. Well, just take this off, put that one back on, get the brake line off, and then put the new one on. So I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. I got it, the old one on. My next thing I need to do is to get this brake line off, and that one is, the measurement is 11 millimeter. I don't know if you can see this. 11 millimeter, yeah, 11 millimeter. So I'm gonna go ahead and put that on, and that's how it's gonna look. You don't have that much room in here, so it fits right there, and I'm gonna go towards the ground. Take this off. Now this is going to leak, and I'm going to place something underneath here. And once I get it off, and I'll have this one off, and I'll have the other one back on the next time you see. Alright, be right back. Okay. Alright, so I got my caliper on, brake line on, right here, as you can see. Doesn't look like it's leaking at all, so I'm just going to keep that right there. Do have the hardware for the new brake pads, and the new one's on the bottom right here, and then I have to hold this up and then put the new brake pads in, and then put the caliper in. So I'll be back when I get that done. Okay, got the brake pads in along with the hardware. The procedure on this was you put this bottom piece in first into it, and then you push down and then gently squeeze this in, and it lines up. Make sure that this side is on the outside and that this clip goes over that, and it's the same on the other side. So that's how it should look if I can focus this thing the right way. Now the next step is to get the caliper on the front of this. Be back in a second. Okay, so I got it all on. I did do a brake test where you push your brakes down and see if anything was leaking, and it doesn't look like anything is leaking around my connections. And got new brake pads on, new caliper, and I guess all we have to do is just clean up a little bit. This is the old set for the front. I'm going to just put those rear ones back in that one. So let's put that together, and I think I get a $40 deposit return, so that's good. And next step is to put the wheel back on and test it real quick, and then I'll move on to the front rotor. Alright, I'll be right back. Okay, so I got my tripod back. I'm going to go ahead and this next segment, I'm going to do a montage of me putting the tire back on and lowering the car, and See you in a second. Okay, so hopefully that was a good shot. You were able to see what I was doing. It's down. Got everything assembled. Got my jack out, my little pad on the floor, ground. Alright, so next thing is to get this up and replace that rotor. Alright, be back in a second. Okay, so I got my front tire off. This is the disc brake rotor. As you can see, it is, if I can get it a good look at it, it's pretty much shot. So we're replacing that with a new one. But first of all, I have to get this caliper off. Get the brakes pads off. Reset the actual caliper back with the tool for the calipers, and then take off the bracket, and then take off the drum. So I'll be right back. Okay, so I got my steering all the way to the right, and this is a better look at the caliper itself and the rotor. So what I need to do is go ahead and take these bolts off, at least this one, or actually probably both of these, but I'll take this one off first, flip it up, get my tool, recede the calipers inside, but before I do that, I recede those calipers. I'm going to go ahead and take the lid off my master cylinder so that the fluid will flow up evenly. I won't have to bleed my brakes at all. So I'll be right back. Okay, so I'm back. I got my disc brake spreader tool. It's like what, 11 bucks, I think. I don't know. Got the caliber, and it's positioned in the up position. I still have it attached. These are the cylinders I have to use the tool for, and I do have the brake cylinder reservoir open, and I'm going to go ahead and reseed those calipers. And of course a train just is going to come by, so I can't record very much, so I'll be back in a second. Okay, the train is still going by, but I wanted to go ahead and show you guys this front bolt right here is a 17 millimeter, and this is the tool, and I got it in place. I'm going to go ahead and gently bring the cylinder in like such, and hopefully you'll be able to see that moving just like such. You can see the baffles moving, and we're going to go ahead and reseat this all the way down gently. Okay, and I'm going to do the same thing with the other one on the bottom, and then once I get that done, I'll be right back. Okay, so I'm back. I got both of those reseated, and let's go ahead and look at these brake pads. Take these out. I'm going to set you guys down for a second. It looks like they're grooved. Yeah, they're grooved. So I'm going to go ahead and replace these. Can you see that? Yeah, they're grooved. So we're going to go ahead and replace those. So this seems like it's, yeah, these are grooved. I'm going to replace those. So next is bring this back down, put it together, and take off this bolt and the upper one right here, and put this whole thing off to the side. I'll be right back. Okay, so I got the caliper off, and there is the rotor. I'm about to take it off. I gently set that off to the side, and out with the old and in with the new. Alright, see you in a second. Okay, so this is the old rotor. See how thin that wall is? This is the new rotor. Alright, so next step is get that caliper back on here. Yeah, I'll be right back. Alright, this next segment, I'm going to go ahead and do the montage of me getting this caliper back up in the up position, and putting the brake pads back in. And I'll see you in a second. Okay, so got it back on. All right, tighten it up a little bit. Make sure it's at least 30 pounds. And then all I have to do now is turn this back to the proper place and get this wheel back on. See you in a second. Okay, so I got everything put back together. And yeah, I'm about to do a road test. If you like this video, hit that thumbs up. If you didn't, hit that thumbs down. Put some comments in the comment section. And thank you very much for watching. You have a great day.